sure the speaker and the senator, as well as myself, will be happy to entertain any questions you may have.
Just when you said that these pact of laws would bring control back of housing laws, I guess, to the city instead of the state, but that doesn't mean, I mean, just by the nature of the laws, they will do that. But that doesn't mean that the city will now have control.
I'm sorry, the last part of your question.
But it doesn't mean that the city really will have control from now on, does it?
Currently, there's a law that basically says, called the Earthstep, which was passed in the early 70s. This Earthstep had to permit the commission of housing in the state. Basically said the state controls all housing and all regulation of housing in the state of New York. And what we have done is repeal, proposed to repeal of that law, which says we will allow the city, Department of Housing, or any other agency, the city council designates to regulate the housing stock in the city of New York and substitute for state agents that will permit the city its own rent regulation, its own rent business, and not be dependent on state law as it comes along.
And it would be long term.
That would be a long term.
And presently, housing is the only area, maybe one of two areas of day-to-day life in the city of New York where the city does not have the ability to exercise administrative, regulatory oversight and legislation.
Why is this being introduced now, and what conversations have you had with the Senate about actually repealing this?
These were passed earlier. They've been introduced for quite some time. These have passed the Assembly. They're introduced in the Senate, and they're waiting for action by the Senate. That's where we stand now. And we want to make sure before we go home for the summer, in a week or two, that the Senate takes action on these bills.
And that's why we've introduced the council resolution that will hopefully help the senator's efforts in the state Senate.
What conversations have you had with the Senate to see where they're standing on this issue?
Well, there are a number of issues that get traded back and forth, especially in the end, this area of rent stabilization and various components of this that have been brought into that discussion by myself as well as by Governor Patterson. Yeah.
Many tenants facing harassment and evacuation, they are new immigrants, and due to the language barriers, so they don't know where to go home. So when the Assembly and the Senate decided to have these laws have to be considered their situations and provide.
Yeah, well, we have funded civil legal services programs, MFY exists to help people that Chris Boyd has a unit that helps people who are facing harassment, quote unquote eviction. Part of this package would make the penalty for harassment on the first offense 5 times what it currently is now. That we recognize that that's a problem, and that's why part of this package is a significant increase in the amount of penalties.
And I'll just add, Flores, at the same time as where the city council is throwing in support behind this legislation, we're negotiating the city budget over the next couple of weeks, and I can assure you one of my priorities will be to continue the city programs which have provided multilingual assistance in areas that you have asked about, in areas of housing assistance and of course legal defense.
Thank you.
Can we ask a question outside of the topic?
Sure.
Okay. On Friday, it seemed that there was a resolution had been reached about OTB.
Yeah.
And then the mayor came out with a statement that seemed like he wasn't really in agreement. So where do we stand right now? Should people go to work tomorrow, or are they continuing permits that
As far as I'm concerned, people should go to work tomorrow. The mayor has indicated a long time ago that he wants the city out of the OT business by tonight at midnight. What the state of New York said, all the legislative team, all the legislators is, if you don't want to run an OTB in these economically difficult times, we don't want 1,500 people to be unemployed. We will assume the liabilities of that the city has to OTB. Several $100 million, and we will take over the operation. The mayor probably justifiably so, said, look, we're losing money, we can't afford to lose money. What the state has said, we'll take it over, we'll assume the liabilities, and we'll continue to run it so those 1,500 people don't lose their jobs. We'll continue to run it, we'll streamline it, we'll audit it, we'll find out where they're losing money. This is a big business in New York, and we just don't want to put people out of work. The governor has made that clear, I've made it clear, Senator Bruno has made it clear. We want to continue the operation. So what happens tomorrow? If nothing happens, hopefully there'll be a reasonable agreement between the governor and the mayor. If there is no agreement, I believe the state is willing to move forward and just take over the operations. It is a creation. OTB is a creation of the state entity. To say I still want $19 million in profits that I'm not making because I'm losing money, and it is not a realistic position. The state would assume the liability, which are well over $100 million in taking over the operation. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.